Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today we're doing a little solo R&R, reviews and ratings of 5 different solo games I've been playing this past week or two. Now these games are meant to be soloed, but most of them do have some multiplayer variant to them. But today we're just looking at the pure solo solitaire version of each of these games. With that being said, let's jump into the first game, One Deck Dungeon. When reading through the rulebook for One Deck Dungeon, I was really excited about this game. This is a dungeon crawl game going through fighting your way and leveling up your unique character. Plus, each encounter you get through can be either added to get more XP, get more dice, or get some unique ability, which I love cards that can be used multiple ways like this. I started going through this game and was having a pretty good time. And then it just kept dragging on. I am only giving this game a rating of 6 because how samey it seemed to get towards the end. You go through 3 levels of dungeons and then fight the big boss. I definitely would have preferred if this game took half the time, because it is pretty much a big luck fest. So I tend to stray away from longer games that involve this much luck, but still, this game does have some unique traits I enjoyed. It just is not a game I see myself revisiting much unless there's a shorter version of this. Let's move on to Cat Crimes. When I purchased Cat Crimes, I knew nothing about it except for it was for solo play. And is this even a game? I'm not quite sure because it's not even on BGG that I could find. But what this is basically you will be given a scenario and you will have to deduce from little clues which cat is sitting where around a table. Is it for me? Probably not. But that's because I believe this was designed to help children to start using that part of the brain that helps solve problems. This is something I would suggest to parents with younger kids to try and teach them these problem-solving skills. As far as a game for me, nope. But also, I'm not giving this a rating because I don't believe this was designed as me as the intended audience. But let's move on to Nautilion. Nautilion is part of the Oniverse game series, and this is a roll and move game, which you don't see many games nowadays trying to use that mechanic. You are going to be trying to move your ship through the line of tokens to the end before the enemy ship, who starts at the end, makes it to the beginning where you started. Anytime a ship lands on a token, that token is picked up and removed. You are going to want to land on certain tokens though, because those tokens will be the crew you need to recruit to your ship, and you need an entire crew to win. You are rolling 3 dice and you determine who gets what dice for their movement. Your ship, the enemy ship, and there is this dark house, which will give you penalties for certain dice on them. I like this game quite a bit more than I anticipated. I'm giving it a 7 rating because it is just a fast, simple, fun option to go to for a solo game. There are several mini expansions as well in the base box, so it'll keep that replayability going as well. Staying in the Oniverse series now with Sylvion. To begin the game of Sylvion, you will be doing this draft, which will then set up your deck for the game. Your goal is to battle the fires that will be moving down the rows of cards that are trying to burn up your forests. You have lots of cards in your deck to help you pull off special abilities and douse these flames one way or another. It is this tower defense game that has a deck building aspect to it. I did like this game, but it does feel like it takes longer than it needs to for what this game is. Especially that you play that mini drafting game before you even get to start playing. So it gets a 6.5 rating for me, just because it got bumped down a bit for taking a bit longer than what I feel is warranted, and the setup time can be a downside. Let's move on to the final game, Palm Island. Palm Island is a simple resource management card game that has you play the entire game with a deck of cards that you keep in your hand. You will be going through this deck of cards, slowly upgrading your cards by spending resources to flip those cards upside down or flip them to the other side of the card. The goal is to get the most points possible, which certain sides of the cards will give you points. This to me is an average game, but this is a great travel game. You could bring this game on airplanes, car rides, play at a cafe while waiting for coffee, like me. It's just extremely convenient. I'm giving this a 7.5 rating because it is great for what it is meant for. Am I going to be playing this game at game night? Nope. But I may be playing this in some slow-moving line I'm waiting in. And that should wrap up this R&R and adjourn this meeting. I hope you all enjoyed this content, and if you did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the board meeting to see more weekly content from me at the board meeting in the future. I hope you all have an amazing day, and take care, everyone.